Okay, and we are recording. Hi everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. I am Lisa Swain, and I'm excited to be here with you tonight. I am the Director of Customer Experience here at Teamzy, so it's my job to make sure that you have everything that you need to know in order to be successful with Teamzy long term. So that's what I'm hoping to do here tonight. I'm gonna let the first couple minutes kind of roll by, let some people jump on the call last minute, and then we'll kind of get started and hit the ground running. All right, so here's what I have planned tonight. First things first, we're gonna jump right into Teamzy, okay? We're gonna start by talking about how quickly and easily you can set up the Teamzy system. I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks for navigating that process. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not really tech savvy, that can really be the point in time where people kind of quit on online systems. They're thinking, you know what, it's just not for me. But honestly, stick with us. We've created a system that's as painless as possible so that you can really get up and running and then use the system for what it's designed for. So first things first, we're gonna start with that setup process. Once we get through setup, we're gonna talk about how to be a power hour boss with Teamzy, because I know you're all living really hectic, busy lives, even without having met any of you, okay? I know that that's just the reality of the life that we all live. So Teamzy is a really great system and tool that's going to help you leverage those really busy times. When, you know, sometimes you have an hour, 2 hours at most for your business, it's gonna be really great to no longer have to scrub lists, to no longer have to figure out where you left off last with people, really get focused so you can reach your goals, okay? So second, we're gonna talk about that power hour session. Third, we're gonna talk about following up like a pro. Because I know it and you know it, the fortune is in the follow-up. But really, it can be that point for a lot of consultants that feels a little bit naggy. They feel like they're bothering people, or they're annoying folks. But guys, following up is an act of love. You are showing up when you said you would. And I'm gonna show you how Teamzy can sort of stack the odds in your favor so that you're not having to manage an external calendar system and post-it notes. You know who you are, all right? So come along with me. We're gonna do the setup, power hour, and then following up like a pro. Once we've gotten through those three things, I'm gonna open up the floor to any questions you all may have. I know some of you have already jumped in, which is fantastic, okay? So you may be familiarizing yourself and may have come across a few things that you have questions about. Stick with me because I am gonna answer those questions in real time, kind of answer and demo on screen for you so you know what to expect when you log in. All right, so that's basically my whole spiel. The one last thing that I will say before I go ahead and share my screen is, so we're coming to you live, right? So the internet connections are a thing that really come into play. If you're having trouble hearing me or seeing me, you should have a reconnect option on your end. If you're thinking, you know, this is just, I can't hear anything, go ahead and jump in the chat and just make me aware of it and I'll do my best to compensate. All right, so looks like this is a perfect place to get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay guys, I do see some questions coming in the Q&A section. Like I said, I will reserve those for the very end of my presentation, so hang tight. All right, so if you have not already taken advantage of the free 30-day trial, go out and do that. And by go out, I mean go to teamzy.com and get a free 30-day trial. It's no credit card necessary, so you get to really just set it up and hit the ground running, okay? I've been asked in my many, many years of creating systems like this and managing systems like this, what is the best tool? What should I use most? The best tool is going to be the one that you actually use consistently. That's what it comes down to. Doesn't matter about the bells and the whistles, it's about you as a consultant, whatever level that you're on right now, what's the right tool for your business? So really the only way to gauge that is to give it some time. Build the habit, okay? I know you've heard this before. It takes about 20, 21 days to build a habit. So we're giving you free 30 days to really just trust the system. Get in there, log in every day, complete the activities, and you will see a real benefit to your business. One that at the end of the 30 days will make the decision a no-brainer for you. So first step, get your free 30-day trial, okay? Once you get that free 30-day trial, you're gonna go through some of the steps that we go over tonight. If you're thinking, I don't know how to do this on my own, you will be able to contact me directly, okay? I'm gonna share all of my contact information with all of you at the end of my quick presentation, so stick with me. That way you know, okay, this isn't what Jay said it would look like, or this isn't what she said I would see, you can always pick up the phone, give me a call, you can text me, send me an email, and I'd be glad to walk you through it. All right, so we're starting with setup. If you've already logged into your Teamzy and you've just been clicking around, trying to get familiar with things, you can get back to our setup process by clicking the wheel in the upper right-hand corner, okay? From here, this is gonna give you access to the setup wizard. Our setup wizard is basically just the 3-step process for setting up your Teamzy. So you don't feel like, did I add everything I need to? Is everything gonna be there when I go looking for it? This is the best way for you to really come along with us and contribute all of the information that we need in order for Teamzy to work best for you. All right, so let's get started. First step in our setup process, because Teamzy is so much more than just a tracking app, we're actually going to help you set an income goal for yourself for the next 12 months, okay? So I want you to step back. Some of you may already be doing incredible volume. I know that the Rodan and Fields community has some incredible powerhouses, and I know some of you are on this call. So if you're thinking, I'm already doing great business, but there's room for growth, awesome, okay? Go for your stretch goal. Consider, you know what, I'm already doing, I've made 20,000 so far this year, but you know what, I'd like to make 40,000 by the end of the year, or whatever the case may be for you. So consider the next 12 months when you're entering your income goal. Now, I do wanna say something here. Income goals, goals in general in many systems are just sort of placeholders. They sit there, they're nice to look at, it's a great reminder. But in Teamzy, your income goal is really the beginning, it's sort of the building block to everything else that you're gonna do in Teamzy. We are going to use your 12-month income goal to actually crunch for you the number of highly productive activities you need to complete every single day in order to stay on track with that overall 12-month goal. So that's really the defining factor. It's not just a number that's gonna hang out in there. We are going to challenge you based on this income goal. So get ready. All right, so we're gonna set that income goal, 12 months, just keep that in mind. Step 2, we're going to create a powerful why statement. Now, some of you may have heard of this before, some of you, you may be new to the concept, but a powerful why is basically your reminder, okay? It's sort of a reminder in my own words of why I got in this business to begin with, why I should persevere in a challenging moment. In the coaching world, we call them quitting points, and they will present themselves. Not they might, they will present themselves. And unfortunately, human nature leads us to quitting. That's just that's sort of, it's built in, but it's not permanent. We can persevere through those moments. And a lot of times we find that if you have a reminder in your own words as to why you should push through, it transcends. Okay, it speaks deep down to that place that only you could talk to. So your powerful why is going to be a statement that we save in your Teamzy that's easily viewable for you at any time so that you have a reminder, like I said, if you ever get to a quitting point. Okay, so that's gonna be the powerful why. And we do have an exercise built in. So if you're thinking, I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that, not to worry, because we have that exercise that'll walk you through it. All right, so we are on to the 3rd step in the setup process, okay? That's gonna be the meat of setup, importing your contacts. Deep breath, folks, okay? I know this can be the scary part. You're thinking, well, no, Jay, I've got a LinkedIn list, and I've got an Excel spreadsheet that's color-coded, and it's got note columns, and I've got my Pulse back office, and I've got Facebook. That is okay. We have built Teamzy with this in mind, okay? So you're gonna be able to bring an exported file from LinkedIn, bring your Facebook friends in, bring your Pulse back office in, and we're gonna kind of walk you through that, okay? If you're thinking, I have no idea what to do with this, don't keep hitting that wall doing 90, just pick up the phone and call me, and I'd be glad to help, okay? We can even schedule a one-on-one, I'll walk you through it, hold your hand, you're not in this alone. Okay, so let's get started with that setup. First step, we're gonna create that income goal for ourselves for 12 months. Sorry, I'm just gonna grab a sip of water. Okay, 12-month income goal. You're literally gonna put the number in this field. Like I said, this is not just a number that hangs out in Teamzy. We are going to, using our algorithm in the back end, on the back end, we're going to calculate for you the number of activities, the number of connections you need to make every single day, week, month, and eventually the year in order for you to stay on track with your income goal. So give that some thought when you're entering this number. If you think to yourself, oh, you know what, maybe I can start with 5,000 today, and then you hit the ground running and you're thinking, I am a superstar, I'm going for 20,000. You can always come back in here and revise this goal, okay? So we'll go ahead and set our initial income goal. Teamzy tells me, based on $100,000 and the initial crunch down, I need to connect 2,899 times over the next 12 months. Okay, sounds like a lot, but really, if you were to stop and think how many people you connect with on a daily basis, then maybe weekly, then maybe monthly, let alone yearly, the number would be staggering. This is an intentional approach, okay? You are putting your eyes on the prize. That's the number I need to focus on. Well then, by George, that's what I'll do. Okay, so come along with us. We're gonna take that initial number. Don't worry, Teamzy is gonna break that down for you into a bite-sized chunk. Okay, so now the system applies the overall breakdown that I just mentioned to you. It lets me know, based on 2,899 connects in a year, that breaks down to about 6 connections to my prospects, 4 to my customers, and then 3 to my consultants. Well, that's totally feasible. A bite-sized chunk, an achievable milestone, however you want to put it. We understand here at Teamzy that the difference between an achievable the difference between an achievable goal and a not so achievable goal is having the path that leads you there. Having the mile markers or the steps that would literally get me from A to B. Human nature leads us to deviate, to make it up as we go along. You don't want that when you've set an intentional goal for yourself. So we've set that goal. We now know the number of activities we need to complete as a baseline in order to meet that goal. But you know what? You may be thinking, Jay, I connect with that many people before breakfast. You're awesome. You know who you are, okay? Keep up the awesome work. This is your baseline. You can get ambitious here. You can go for your stretch goal. Challenge yourself a little. Like I said, this is the immediate structure or the pathway, right? If you want to hit that path going 100 miles an hour, by all means, it's up to you. Teamzy gives you that customization. So we'll come in here. If you want to alter any given goal, you just click in the field and update the number. For any of you who may be new to the industry, okay, you're thinking, I don't have customers yet, Jay. I don't have consultants. In that case, you're going to want to readjust your goal, okay? Yeah, this is still going to be 13 total, right? 6 to my prospects, 4 to my customers, 3 to my consultants. But in this case, I don't have consultants or customers yet, so you know what? I'll make this 0. I'll make this 0. And instead, now I'm actually going to add the 7 over to my prospects tab. Because if I allocate more of my time and resources to my prospects, I'll convert more individuals into the customers and into the consultants field, okay? So we'll pop the total number in there, and we can come down to the additional goals. So on a day-to-day, you're gonna have a goal for connections with your prospects, connections to your customers, connections to your consultants, and then you've got goals based on invites. So invites are going to be intentional calls to action, okay? Anytime you invite someone to join you for an upcoming event, send someone a solution tool, invite them to a 3-way call, anything like that, that just gets someone that much closer to making the change, to taking the action necessary to see a change in your business, okay? So we've set intentional goals for that as well. You've got a goal for your daily invites, and then you've also got a goal for daily additions. Because Teamzy is more than a tracking app, it's a lead generation system, we are going to have your focus on generating leads, okay? Meaning introducing new people to the products and the services that you offer as a Rodan and Fields consultant. The second you stop doing that is the day that you close the doors on your business. Those are just the facts. I don't know if anybody mentioned it to you, okay? So consider, no matter what system or tool that you're choosing to employ, is it a lead generation system? Is it helping me grow my team? Okay, so this is how the goal setting stage is going to work. You can accept the baseline, or you can get ambitious, up any of the goals that you need to, or back them down if you need to. Okay, so we will hit continue here when we are satisfied with our goals for the day, and we're through to the next step in the setup process, creating your powerful why. There are videos on each page. You can watch them. It basically takes you through what I'm talking about here live, but this video is really cool because our creator and founder, Eric Johnson, actually shares with you his powerful why and why he believed so fervently in having this built into our system. Okay, so you can hit continue here when you're ready to actually create the why statement, and Teamzy is going to walk you through the process step by step. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my process, okay, guys? In the beginning, for me, creating a powerful why statement just seemed a little bit California fruits and nuts, okay? I was born and raised in the Northeast. I'm told that we are a pragmatic bunch. So in that, it's kind of like, what do you need from me now? And I'll deliver. But this was something that forced me to step back, look internal, which is usually where things have to change if you want to make any sort of an outward change. So I gave in to the exercise, okay? One question at a time. Why did you become a consultant? Well, honestly, other than the products being absolutely life-changing and me knowing that and knowing that I could help other people, there was the opportunity for even $500 more a month. For me, it wasn't all that deep in the beginning. So I'm going to be honest with you, okay? What did I hope to accomplish? Well, I had not saved $1 since I left college, and I thought that might be a good place to start. Why is that important to you? Oh, well, now it starts to deepen. It starts to speak to that place in you that it needs to, okay? In order for this to become that resilient statement, it needs to deepen slightly. But take the exercise as it comes, okay? Don't force it. Why is that important to me? Well, honestly, I married a Marine straight out of college, and we were looking at a military life. And I thought to myself, if I wanted any sort of financial freedom, room to breathe, this was it. And little by little, my own goals started to become more clear, more concrete. So if you're having trouble just sort of solidifying your goals, figuring out why this is all so important, give into the exercise. All right, you're gonna go through, answer each field, okay? Once you come to the bottom, if you're thinking to yourself, Jay, where is my powerful why? I answered all of the questions, it's not there. Okay, so it's not gonna automatically populate. Once you get to this field, you will need to take the answers to the fields above and create that powerful why, even if it means just copying and pasting in the beginning. Once you do that, you're gonna read that back to yourself, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be mind-blowing. All right, your powerful why. We are on to the third step in the setup process, guys. We're just blowing through this. I understand. This is gonna take a little more time when you're going through it on your own, okay? I'm giving you the areas that you need to focus on, and more than that, you know that there's a goofball in the office that you can call if you've got questions. All right. Importing your contacts to Teamzy. If you don't have a pen and paper, grab one really quickly. I'm gonna give you a few tips to start, okay? All right, guys, when you're loading your contacts, we've got some videos here, okay? These are gonna walk you through exporting from Pulse, exporting from Facebook, and then ultimately importing those files into Teamzy. If you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I wanna import from LinkedIn, from Gmail, Outlook, that's okay. Just reach out to me directly and I'll get you those instructions. Okay, when you're starting to set up your Teamzy and you're bringing in contacts, my first tip, I recommend that you start with your customers and your consultants from your Pulse back office. I'm gonna say that one again. When you are starting to import contacts into your Teamzy, I recommend that you start with your Pulse customers and consultants. The reason for this suggestion, guys, is because you've been collecting tons of great information in Pulse. Phone numbers, email addresses, physical addresses, things that you don't want to have to re-enter into Teamzy. So start with those, so that's your baseline of information, okay? Pulse, customers, and consultants. From there, I want you to bring in any of those beautiful Excel spreadsheets you may have created yourselves, okay? Anything that's got a lot of great information on it, a notes field, anything that's got phone number, email address, things like that. Bring those files in next. Then bring in your email services, your Gmail, your Outlook, your whatever the case may be, okay? Last, but certainly not least, okay, because it's a great source of information, should be your social media lists. The reason I say that is because social media platforms have to adhere to very, very strict security policies. They can't just release their users' information to you, like a phone number, like an email address, like some of that great info, but your list from Facebook puts in front of you exactly who you need to connect with, putting you in a position to let no one fall through the cracks. And that's the beauty of a system like Teamzy. So I definitely recommend you bring in those social media lists, but keep in mind the information there will be limited. So start with your Pulse, then your separate file, your own special Excel spreadsheets, and then last but not least, your social media. Okay, so those are my first tips about importing, okay? Next tip, when you are exporting from your Pulse back office. So I know you're all aware of it. So Pulse has been experiencing some hiccups. They're going through some tech changes. It comes with this world. So we're pretty used to it, honestly, because this is what we live, eat, and breathe. For those of you as users who need to live by your database, who need access to your customers and consultants at all times, that seems not acceptable. So having a third-party system like Teamzy, something that operates on its own, giving you a fail-safe, giving you a backup is a beautiful thought, okay? But with that all being said, Pulse has been going through some hiccups, okay? So some of their reporting is slightly off, okay? Your downline report is going to include preferred customers as well as consultants, all on that one list. I know, right? So you may find that you need to separate out or sort that list. If it's starting to sound a little bit like Arabic to you, what I'm saying, if you're thinking that's just way too hard for me to do by myself, reach out to me. But what all you're doing is opening up the export from Pulse. Take a look in the recognized title column. It's going to say PC or C or level ups for your higher level consultants. And then you're also looking for the column that says who it's sponsored by. From there, you're going to be able to gauge, okay, I can sort this column to only include my preferred customers. If not, reach out to me directly, okay? These are just things I want to put on your radar. Your downline report is including preferred customers, consultants, and your full downline. So not just individuals who are personally sponsored by you, okay? Keep that in mind. If you're okay with all that information coming into Teamzy, then by all means, you're ready to proceed. Okay, so that's my one kind of tip and something to keep in mind when you're working in your Pulse. From there, let's talk about your Facebook export, okay? All of the other files, as long as they're basically in Excel and they're saved in a certain format, which we'll talk about next, you're gonna be able to import that to Teamzy. Stay tuned for the formats. Okay, my tip about exporting from Facebook. Facebook is also in the process of making some changes, okay? And they're going through some bumps. So with that being said, Facebook has adjusted, it's already happened, okay? They've changed the way that some of us can pull our information from Facebook, but they did not update us, darn it. So with that in mind, I want you to keep in, if you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I went through all the steps, I followed the video, I requested my archive, but I never got an email. It just never showed up. It's okay, all right? What's going on is that your download is actually waiting for you in your Facebook, and I'm gonna show you really quickly. So if I were to open up my Facebook tab for you guys, okay, from here, some of you, when you come through this process, this is gonna look more familiar, but in Facebook, you're looking for this little icon in the upper right-hand corner. You're coming down to settings. From here, at the bottom of our list, we've got an option to download a copy. You would have already done this process if you're thinking you fall into this category where the email just never showed up. I want you to come back to this area. This time when you come here, instead of it saying start my archive, you're gonna notice it says download my archive. That means the file is waiting, you're gonna click download, and it's automatically gonna trigger it for you. It'll drop it in your downloads folder, and then you can pick up the steps where we left off, okay? So if you have been waiting for your Facebook download, head back to your Facebook settings, check the download a copy area, and hit download. Anything outside of that, anything that you're thinking, it's still acting funky, I don't know how to get my Facebook contacts, reach out to me directly and I will help. Okay, so we're back in Teamzy. That's my tip for bringing in your Facebook contacts, okay? Now that we're starting to bring in multiple lists, let's say you brought in your customers and your consultants and your Gmail and your LinkedIn. As you're bringing in files, Teamzy is going to be running a duplicate filter. So it's looking for unique email addresses, okay? But with that, some folks may use one email address to set up their Facebook account and then a separate email address to get signed up with you as a customer. In those scenarios, you're just gonna have to go in the system and manually clean it up. Otherwise, the system will try and catch and filter out as many duplicates as it can. Alrighty, so let's say that we are ready now to import to Teamzy. Those are the major areas that you need to keep your minds on, okay? When we hit continue here, Teamzy is going to outline for you the acceptable file formats. So is this a Facebook file? Is it from your Pulse? Is it in a .csv format, comma, separated value? I understand. For some of you, you're thinking, what? I don't know. It's okay. If you're unsure, if you're thinking, I don't even remember what she said, it's okay. You can choose your file and Teamzy will tell you yay or nay, okay? It'll let you know, yes, you can move forward, or maybe that file format's not gonna work out. Okay, so when we're ready, we'll simply select the file. Teamzy is going to run that initial filter and it lets me know you are good to go. Green check mark means the file has been successfully uploaded, you can move forward in the steps. Or you'll get a red X or an error message that tells you you cannot move forward. Okay, so that's what I'll say about file formats. Anything other than that, feel free to ping me and I'll help. Okay, once we have selected a file that Teamzy accepts, you can do a few things here before you move on, okay? I want you to click on Advanced Import Options. This is going to display for you exactly that. Some options that you can do upon import. So what can I do to every single person that's on this one file? I can apply a tag, or I can tell Teamzy, you know what, add this identifier to each and every contact record. Let's say this is a list of my Facebook friends. I could say Facebook. If this is a recent challenge group, I can say challenge group. Okay? You can create tags to your preference, as many or as few as you need. But this gives you the opportunity to apply one tag to every single person on an import. So know that you have that option. You can also do some things to the rankings. So in Teamzy, prioritizing or ranking your database is a major part of the process, and we're actually going to talk about that next. But if you're thinking, this is a list of all of my rock star customers or all of my, rock star consultants, you could make them 5 stars all at once without having to go in and manually do it to each person. That's what the rank option is letting you do here. Otherwise, I would just leave it at 3 stars. Every single person that's imported into Teamzy is assigned a 3-star ranking, okay? So this is gonna mean something in the next step, but everybody comes in at 3 stars. So you can leave them there if you're thinking, I may need to take a look at each person one at a time. All right, last but not least, you can apply a member type to every single person. If this is a full list of customers, if this is a full list of consultants, you can do that by just clicking on the type. One thing to keep in mind, we coded Teamzy, guys, for you all as consultants. So it's designed, okay, or prepared for your Pulse files. So your customer list is automatically gonna get dropped in the customer tab. Your consultant list will automatically get dropped in your consultant tab. If you're ever unsure, you wanna confirm, just go ahead and check your advanced import. Alrighty, so let's say I'm satisfied with those being prospects, it's a Facebook file, and I'm gonna hit continue. Okay, Teamzy's let me know that awesome, it has automatically mapped my file, putting phone numbers with phone numbers, email addresses with the email addresses, notes in the notes section, and so on, okay? You can hit continue here when you are ready to move forward. Teamzy redirects us to the next step in the process. Even though I mentioned that the meat of setup is 3 steps, it didn't just drop you off on the dashboard. It's following you along so you don't feel like you're overwhelmed at any point in this process. So, ranking or prioritizing in Teamzy is so vital because this is how we monitor for you who you need to connect with and when, okay? This is what's really going to come into play when we get into that Power Hour talk. All right, so ranking or prioritizing in Teamzy is gonna come down to you taking a hard look at every single person you work with, whether they be a prospect, a customer, or a consultant. You're gonna say, these are my 5-star prospects, 5-star customers, 5-star consultants, and so on, right down the tier, okay? 5 stars, that means you wanna connect with them every 30 days like clockwork. Teamzy is just gonna filter them to the top and literally serve them up to you on a platter. No more scrubbing lists. And this is why. Because Teamzy is working right alongside you, okay? Like the little engine that could. You tell it what sort of where someone falls in the priority. This person's really important to me. I want to spend more of my time and my resources on them. By George, that is exactly what Teamzy will help you do. So that's how the prioritization or the ranking is going to come into play. 4 stars every 60 days like clockwork. 3 stars, or that safety net that everybody gets upon import, is a 90-day window, okay? Your 2 stars every 120 days. So we're widening that window with the lower the star ranking. Your 1 stars will not come up for follow-up. So when we're ready to rank, you can scroll down, watch this video. It basically takes you through what I just talked about, and you can hit rank. Okay, Teamzy is going to redirect you to the easiest page in the system to do that ranking or that prioritization process. Now, I know that some of these are going to be easier than others, but just come along with me, okay? Ranking is going to be as simple as going down the list and saying, oh, you know what? You're a 4-star, she's a 2-star. You know what? You're a 3, that's probably good. 2-star. Becky, you don't need to be in here. You can quickly delete directly from that screen by clicking on the little mini trash can. It gives you your delete confirmation and you move on. Now, I know that some of these are going to be easier than others, okay? Some are just going to jump out at you. So take this in passes. When you are going to be amassing this relatively large list, okay, whether when you bring in your Pulse contacts and then your Facebook, then your email, your LinkedIn, these lists can get very large and it can feel overwhelming, but I don't want you to get lost in that moment, okay? Take a step back and do it in batches. Because we've given everyone that 3-star safety net, you can sort of go in and now cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars. Everybody else is in that safety zone. So you can kind of rank them as they come up for follow-up. Your database is going to evolve with the relationships that you create, build, lose. These are just the realities of this business. So as that happens, your database is going to evolve and you're going to come in here and adjust rankings. So in the beginning, do not agonize over the ranking process. Go through and attempt to cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars. Some will be easier than others. Just skip them and you'll be able to come back to it if you need to. All right. So like I said, you notice as I was going down this list, you would basically reassign people's rankings. You click on it, the system does an automatic save and you can move on to the next thing. Now, if you want a lower ranking, of course, you can just click on that and it would reassign that person. Once you've gotten through that list and you've cherry-picked your 4 or your 5s and you think you're in a good place to get started, from there, I would recommend that you confirm your types, those member types, okay? The easiest way to do that is above the list of names, you've got type mode. You can go ahead and click on type mode and it's going to display for you everyone's current type, okay? Are they a prospect, are they a customer, or are they a consultant? You can quickly go through and say, oh no, this person, these should be customers, consultant, customer, doing an automatic save as you work, okay? So keep that in mind as you go through your list that you're going to come across names that, oh, okay, I may need to confirm, is this person a consultant, is this person a customer? But if your list is coming in from Pulse, in the way that it should be, then it will import with no problem. Okay? So that's going to be how you can quickly check your types, and you can go down the list. Now, as I'm going through, you know what? Oh, that's right. Marlo sent me an email today. So now I've got Marlo's email address. Let me add that to Teamzy. You're going to be adding information, updating certain areas because, oh, I've got that in LinkedIn, or that was in. So this is going to be that stage where you're creating your master list. Okay, this is not a futile effort. I promise. You're in a position here where no matter what, even at the end of the 30 days, we want you to love Teamzy. But if you decide that it's not the right system for you, you can hit export and take all of this cleaning up that you've done, okay, all of that scrubbing down into a master list with you. So it isn't for nothing, okay? Get in there, add the information that you can because you are creating a system that you can actually use. So let's say Marlo sent me an email. If I want to add an email address, I want to add a phone number, anything like that, I would click on the name. This becomes Marlo's active profile to the right. I can see his name. I see I've got an option to track a connect. I can track a sale. I've got that tag that I created earlier when I imported this file, so I can see that, oh, okay, Marlo is a Facebook friend. I can see his next follow-up will be, okay, he's a default 4-star, so that'll be 60 days. Okay, every 60 days he'll come up for follow-up. Member type, he's a prospect right now. And then if I come down far enough, I've got all of his specific details. So I can come down to email and say, you'll notice when I click, once you add information to a field, then click anywhere else, the system gives you the success message letting you know it has automatically saved that detail. I can just move on to the next person. So as you're going through that list, just glance over, okay? As I'm going through, oh, you know what? Oh, Rachel, I have Rachel's phone number. Add the information as you go along. It'll be that easy, okay? So as you're setting up, consider that you can be adding information, but little by little, this will be your setup process. Once you've gone through and you've cherry-picked your 4 and your 5-star rankings, you've cleaned up those types, you are ready to use Teamzy. You're ready to hit the ground running and start really maximizing on that power hour. So let's get over into the power hour section. Once we're through with setup, the dashboard is going to be your hub, okay? Your power hour hub. I want you to think of it as your virtual accountability partner. If you're someone who doesn't have a success partner yet, maybe you don't lean into your team quite as much as you want to or should or whatever the case may be, we have built in an accountability partner right into your Teamzy, okay? So even if you're thinking, oh, I was gonna do it completely on my own, don't worry. We're gonna help you along the way. So at one glance, you can see, okay, that's right. My goal for the day is 13 prospects. I don't have customers yet. I don't have consultants. Because remember, when I set the goals earlier, I put all 13 in the prospect section. If I wanted to edit those goals, I can quickly click Edit Goals here, okay, in the upper right-hand corner of the dashboard. It'll bring me right back to that setting, to that setup process. I'll hit Continue, Continue, and from here, I can go ahead and say, you know what, I'd rather the 6, 4, and the 3. Continue, save and exit. I'm back on my dashboard. The dashboard has been updated right away, okay? So if at any point you want to edit your daily goals, upper right-hand corner of the dashboard. All right, so I know at one glance when I log in for the day, I've got 6 prospects to connect with, 4 customers, and 3 consultants. Great. Now I would scroll down that page slightly to what's known as my Who's Up Next section, okay? This is going to be the Power Hour Hub. This is where you come to find out who you need to connect with and when, without scrubbing any lists, without figuring out, well, where did I leave off on my spreadsheet, and then in my LinkedIn, and then in my Facebook, okay? Without having to do any of that, because we've added all of the lists from those other areas into Teamzy. So now it's running a filter. Who has the highest priority for your prospects? Looks like that's Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson's coming up because he's a 5-star. I have not connected with him in 30 days. So Teamzy is monitoring for you on the back end, without you having to manage it, your last point of communication, and when they need their next follow-up. And it's just gonna start to filter them in for you. okay? You'll see your 5 stars first, 4 stars, and then 3 stars, and then 2 stars. You will not see 1 stars on the dashboard. Okay, so let's say I'm in my power hour. I know I have 6 prospects to connect with. Eric is up first. Once I have clicked on a name, this becomes their connect section to the right, okay? So I could basically, in this area, jot down the nature of the conversation. What did we talk about? I am in the habit of copying and pasting verbatim what I send to all of the prospects that I work with, all of the customers, all of the consultants. This lets me see exactly where I am with them. It lets me see exactly the nature of the conversation, what we talked about, what the exchange was, what I offered them, whatever the case may be, okay? You don't have to do it that way. This area is meant to be a note to you, from you, okay? So you make it as detailed or not, your preference. Okay, so from my dashboard, as I'm starting to connect with people, Eric came up for follow-up. Honestly, how do I know Eric again? Just kidding, guys. As an aside, Eric Johnson, creator and founder of Teamzy, my boss, fully aware of who he is. With that being said, back to the role playing. How do I know Eric? You may find yourself in this situation, okay? Because you just brought in or combined a list of 2,000 names, you may have to start to jog your own memory, okay? From the dashboard, you have access to his activity tab. Have I tracked any activity with Eric until now? It doesn't look like I have. What details do I have for Eric? Looks like I've got an email address, a phone number, social media links. Oh, that's right. Eric and I are Facebook friends. That's how those tags are really going to start to help. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind when you're creating tags. You can see them, quickly access them from the dashboard. So if you want to say this person is interested in lash boost, in my next 3-way call, you can literally create a tag titled that, and you'll be able to see it from the dashboard. So it's your preference. All right, so I can see that Eric and I are Facebook friends. You know what? I'll send Eric a Facebook message. It's just my preference. I love to connect with people through Facebook. It allows me to drop in, say hello, show them I support them without feeling like I'm nagging or kind of, you know, superimposing myself in the middle of their living room. Like, hey, take my phone call right now, okay? That's just my preference. So, all right, Eric and I are Facebook friends. What should I say? Okay, so here is time suck number 2, okay? Agonizing over what you're going to say to every single prospect, every single customer, every single consultant eats up your most valuable commodity, which is time, okay? The first one, if you were wondering, was scrubbing down those lists. So the second, time just eats away, is when you're sitting around figuring out exactly what you're going to say to each person. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't personalize your messages. That is absolutely necessary. And it's a great tool and a great way for you to just show people that you're willing to go that extra mile. But when you're looking at starting 20, 30 conversations in an hour, which is amazing, you need to stack the odds in your favor. You need to lean into a system that can be easily reproduced every day. Otherwise, it's like hair ripping out season, okay? All right, so in Teamzy, we have created for you scripts and dialogues that you can use to sort of plant that seed, start to build trust with your prospects, create a baseline, you know, just start the conversation. So if I need a script, I will click scripts in the upper right-hand corner of Eric's Connect section. It's going to give me access to scripts by where I choose to connect with this person. Am I going to send Eric a Facebook message, an email, a text message? Because you should be meeting people where they are, guys. In today's day and age where technology is so easily accessible, there's no reason why you should be berating someone with phone calls if they've told you, I prefer text and email. Or, you know what, I love to Facebook message. Send them a Facebook message, okay? Meet your customers, your consultants, and your prospects where they are. All right, food for thought. So you're gonna choose your medium for connection. I'm gonna choose Facebook. And we have broken down for you connections by where you are in the connect process. Is it your first connection, second connection? Is this a follow-up? Is it follow-up number 2, follow-up number 3? Because we all know it, okay? It doesn't just take 1 follow-up, 2 follow-ups. Guys, did you know that most sales close between the 7th and the 10th follow-up? The first time I heard that, I was like, what? Because of course in my head, I'm thinking, I have never followed up with a single person 7 times. But that's what it takes. It doesn't have to be annoying blast emails of every last product that we offer. That's not what's necessary. You need to build a real relationship. You need to find ways like, hey Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. These bring down the walls. It makes you more of a real person. You're creating common ground, opening that door, facilitating a conversation so that it's not just like ripping off the Band-Aid. Hello, I'm here with transformative products, okay? That's great. It's exciting. It's awesome to be that passionate about what we do. But there is a warming up stage for some folks. More food for thought. So we've broken it down for you by connect type, by follow-up type. You can go through the different scripts and find what works for you based on the scenario. It's connect number 1. I'm gonna hit copy script. I come back over here. I actually paste it because again, this is my process. This lets me see exactly who I'm sending the message to. I update the name. I'll add a hey girl, hey boy, great to see you last week at PTA or whatever, you know, if you wanna personalize it, this gives you the baseline. And then I would simply say, you know what, I'm gonna send that through Facebook. I copy it again, just so I know exactly what I'm sending. I go over to my Facebook. This is my process. I keep a Facebook tab side by side. It just makes it easy for me to keep going. So I find Eric on the list. I drop Eric a message, come back over to Teamzy. I indicated that it was a Facebook message. I'm not inviting Eric to anything, just stopping by saying hello. I'll log the connect here. Immediately sends a message to Teamzy that I have logged one of my connections successfully. I've completed one of my 6 prospect connections. I now have, excuse me, it has now removed Eric from my list of prospects for the day and moved the next person up based on priority and the last time that I connected with them. I don't have to leave this page throughout my power hour. I just keep connecting. Okay, I've got 5 left. I would move on to the next person. I've got access to his activity, to his details. And you know what? Okay, it looks like Marlo is also a Facebook friend. I could send Marlo a message. Guys, there are days that I may send the same message to 10 different prospects. They don't know I'm doing that. It does not water down or belittle what I'm trying to do or where it's coming from. It starts the conversation. It's still on me to continue those 20 conversations for the rest of the day. But I was able to just stop by without creating waves, just to say hello and show you that I support you. So lean into the system for the scripts and dialogues. That's feature number 1 for getting through that power hour and getting it really humming, okay? So let's say that I have now connected with all of my prospects. I have the option to now select my customer tab, okay? Because I've got 4 customers to focus on. It now runs that same filter, bringing the highest priority customers to the top, okay? Letting me focus where I need to focus. So looks like William is the next person that comes up for follow-up. He's a 5-star. That means I have not connected with him in 30 days. I can check his activity. I can check his details. I can check his notes if there are any, and then I can just go ahead and connect. Check my scripts. You know what? I want to send him, oh, you know what? Will and I talked about a particular product. So I'm actually going to send him an email about that product. So second feature that makes really getting your power hour going, okay, is going to be the fact that you can send emails directly through Teamzy. If you are a Gmail subscriber, okay, if you're a Gmail subscriber, you can actually send emails directly to all of your recipients. You just need to link the 2 accounts, okay? To do that, in your Teamzy, select type. You can do it right from the screen. Just scroll down to your Who's Up Next section, go over to the connect area, and come down to where you see send email with the word new by it. This is going to bring up for you, if you have not already done the link, it's just going to walk you through the process for the link. So it's just basically going to make sure that you're logged into the right Gmail account. It's going to fire off whatever it needs to fire off, create that connection. Now, the next time you hit send email, you'll be able to create the body of your email and hit send right here from your dashboard, okay? Another really cool feature when you're working through your power hour, you can actually create your own emails and save them in the system. So if you've got templates, invites to upcoming events, if you've got a solution tool email, if you have anything that helps you leverage your busy time, anything that's gonna help you reproduce yourself, okay, in a way without you having to actually go down any cloning efforts, okay? Just what can I do tomorrow that will just be easy for me to keep moving, okay? So as we keep going through, you're gonna connect with people. You can use those scripts. If you're creating an email for yourself, you can click scripts, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you've got new script as an option. You'll click new script, and it's gonna literally let you create a title, so you can say follow up to an event, follow up to a solution tool, whatever the case may be. You can create the body of the email, and then in the future, when you come in here, you'll be able to just hit send. It'll let you add the person's name, and you'll just be able to keep it moving. So that email feature is going to be another way that you're just gonna get that power hour moving along, okay? With creating email templates, you also have the option to create scripts. So if you have tried and true dialogues or scripts that work really well for you, you can load those in the system and you'll be able to reuse them, view them in the future, okay? Same process, you're gonna click scripts. You can go ahead and hit new script up here and then just go ahead and create your own. All right, so we talked about the fact that you can send emails directly through Teamzy. You can go ahead and create your own emails to resend. You can create scripts and dialogues so that you can reuse them directly from your dashboard. These are gonna be a ton of the features that really come into play on the day-to-day as you're getting through and really building up that muscle for connecting with as many people as possible in 1 to 2 hours, because it's totally possible, guys. I'm constantly challenging myself every single day. I use this tool, okay, all day long. Can I connect with 35 people this hour? Can I connect with 45 people today, okay? You decide intentionally, what do I want to do today? And how can I clear the path so that I can make that possible? All right, so that's what so many of these features are working to help you do in Teamzy. Now, as we're going through, you may need to set a follow-up for someone, okay? And it's really going to be important that you can access all of your follow-ups so that you're not having to manage your calendar app and post-it notes and the whole thing. So as I'm connecting with people, let's say that William and I chat about upcoming event. Okay, I'm going to indicate that he and I spoke by phone. And you know what, I'm inviting him to something, so I'm gonna check mark that it's an invite. You'll notice the system gives me one more type option. I'm gonna drop down and tell the system exactly what I'm inviting him to, because you can pull reports. So any of you incredible teams that are out there, you know, I don't know, blitzing for goals, you know, kind of going hard for a volume goal or going for your Lexus or whatever the deal may be, we have reports set up so that you can pull and see how many invites did I send, how many sales did I make, that kind of thing. All right, so I'll indicate that it was an event, and I can log connect here. But you know what? Will needs to run right now. I really want to get him all of the details to the event tomorrow. I want to give him a call and just show him how excited I am that he's going to be there. But he's a 5-star. So if I hit connect right now, he's not going to come up for 30 days. But do not grab your cell phone. Don't grab your post-it notes. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to set your follow-up right here from this screen. So in the upper right-hand corner of each connect, you'll notice the system tells you exactly when they're going to come up for follow-up. This means that if I hit log connect right now, William's coming up in 30 days based on his default. But you know what? I want to call him tomorrow with all of the details. So I will click the drop down here and I'll go down and tell Teamzy based on the presets. I can say tomorrow, 2 days, 4 days. If it's a custom date or you want to see a calendar, come on down to the custom date area. And I can stipulate exactly when I'm going to follow up with him. It overrides the default. I will log connect. Removes William from my list of customers, logs that I have completed this activity successfully, logs that I have tracked one of my invites as well, all in real time, so I don't have to do each thing separately. And it has added William to my follow-ups list. So he didn't just go off into no man's land. I'm not gonna have to know to come in here tomorrow to search for him. What's gonna happen is when I log in tomorrow, I'm actually gonna see a number 1 here, like a notification right above my follow-ups list. So I know when I need to focus on that, okay? So people are going to start to come up for follow-up by default in your prospect, customer, and consultant tab. But you may have your own custom follow-ups when you need to connect with people. So know that you can go in and override the follow-ups. So I just showed you how to do it from the dashboard. But you know what? We talked to Eric earlier. I'd really like to invite him to that upcoming event. At the top of your Teamzy page, you've got a search option. You can go ahead and search by first or last name. So I will go ahead and search for Eric's record. The system's going to redirect me to his full contact record. From here, I can say, you know what? I want to follow up with Eric tomorrow so that I can invite him to my event. So I'll come here and it looks like he's a Facebook friend. His follow-up line is set to default. If I check his activity feed, we connected today, so it's 30 days from today. But you know what? I want to connect with Eric tomorrow. So what I can do is tell Teamzy I want to connect with Eric tomorrow. It overrides the default. I don't have to click anywhere else. I don't have to search for a save button, nothing like that. I can basically head back to my list or get back to my power hour. If you want to confirm, check your follow-ups list. Eric has been added. You'll notice your follow-up list arranges, it's color-coded by urgency, priority. It'll give you due today, past due, things like that, okay? So that's really gonna be how you use your follow-ups or monitor your follow-ups, manage them in the system without you having to check an external area every time you wanna make sure that you schedule your next appointment, okay? This is gonna let you keep at one glance, how many follow-ups do I have to do today? And then how many of those highly productive activities do I have to do today? Now you can time block. Now you can say to yourself, okay, I can do all of that in 30 minutes. I can do all of that in an hour. Those are really gonna be the features and the follow-ups that help you stay on track with everyone, okay? So that's the follow-up section. We talked about kind of how you go through and checking those, making sure that you're maximizing on those different features. This is the perfect place for me to pause for a minute, open the floor up to any questions you guys may have. So go ahead and utilize your question and answer section. Should be right or left of your screen, depending on the browser that you're using, okay? So jump in there, ask any questions you may have. I know some of you were in the chat asking some questions, so I will check there too, okay? For those of you who have to jump off the call, thank you for being here with me tonight. I am gonna share my contact information with you, and then I will share my screen again and answer your questions. Alrighty, so you should have my contact information on the screen now. Feel free to screenshot that. You can jot that down if you need to, whatever your preference is. But that's not a joke. You can, in fact, send me a text message question if you need to. You can email, whatever it's your choice. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so Suzanne wants to know, does this program allow me to track my sales and the sales of those on my team, give projections, graphs? By sales, she needs. Okay, so it's a great question, Suzanne. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share on the contact info. Start again in Teamzy. Okay, so a couple questions all in one. Okay, so I'm going to take them one at a time. So does this program allow me to track my sales? Yes. So Suzanne, you will be able to track your sales. To do that in Teamzy, you can always search for a name. You can search for a name at the top of your screen if you've got someone in mind, or you can always go over to the team page. This lets you see every single person, okay? You can see you can see your prospects, you can see your customers. Let's say I'm working with Marlo. I invite Marlo to try one of the regimens. He chooses to act, purchases a regimen. I can track my sale by coming over to his profile and clicking on sale. From here, it's gonna drop down a sale type. I would indicate one of the three options. Right now, these are really basic. We are working on rounding that out and giving you more options or making that customizable. So that's coming down the pipeline pretty soon, okay? But for now, you're gonna choose enrollment kit, regimen, or other sale. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and save that, and it adds it to the activity feed. You'll be able to pull a report just to see what are all of the sales that I did, and I'll show you that in a minute. So as you're tracking your sales, you're also earning income, okay? So you can also track your income, but that happens separately in Teamzy. So once you've tracked your sale, you'll head over to your business tab there on the left-hand side. This is going to bring up your business statistics. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. It's gonna bring up your business statistics. You'll be able to see at one glance, okay, what is my goal for the 12 months? I've got that $100,000 goal, and this is what I've tracked income-wise so far. You can track additional income by clicking the little plus symbol here or clicking add income in the upper right-hand corner, both of which are going to redirect you to a track your income report, okay? This is going to be an itemized report, so you can come in here and track your income by week, by month, by quarter, whatever your preference is, okay? It's going to be a date range. So you'll basically just enter the dollar amount that you made, you'd stipulate the date range, and add income. It automatically adds the line record. These reports are pullable so that you can actually export this report or pull this report, and it can be used, you know, with your team if it's for accountability, if you guys need to talk about what, you know, how you're doing versus how somebody else in the group is doing or something along those lines. If they are using their own Teamzy, they will be able to also track their sales and their income. With that being said, you asked about some overlap. Okay, kind of give you some projections on your team, sort of what you guys are poised to do for the year. That does not exist right now in Teamzy. It's definitely on our, it's on the horizon. It's something that we're hoping to do down the road or incorporate some additional reporting for your teams. But for now, it's going to be tied to your sales and your income. Okay, if you need to ask any additional questions or clarify in any way, feel free to jump back in the chat. Okay. Let's see. So one more question that Suzanne has, are there any graphs and things like that? So you have your income report that you can pull. If you come down far enough, you will be able to see a growth report. So this is going to give you your total customers versus your total personally sponsored consultants, and it's going to arrange on that graph. You've got your total activities arranged by color to the different types: prospects, customers, personally sponsored consultants. Those are going to be the graphs that exist right now in Teamzy, but like I said, keep your eye out because we are constantly looking for the right solutions to reporting options for you guys. All right, let's see. So Marianne wants to know, are there scripts specifically for invites? Okay, so we do not have a specific, a tailored invite script, but if you have one that you wanted to load in the system, you could. If you ever want to see all of the scripts that we have to offer, not just the Facebook or just the email or anything, just click the script area and then click Facebook or whatever the first option is for you, and then remove the filters. From here, this is going to arrange for you every single script. Just because I've clicked create a script a couple times in the demo, they're listed there. But otherwise, you're just going to be able to scroll down and see every single script that we have available. Okay? Alrighty, let's see here. Deb wants to know, how do I copy from a text to Teamzy? So if you're looking to, so if you sent someone a text message on your cell phone, it really depends on how you do it. So I send text through my cell phone, but I also have a third-party app that allows me to send text messages like on my computer. So I open up my app side by side, just like I open up my Facebook app. So it comes down to how you send your messages. If it's easy for you to copy and paste and add it into Teamzy, then you can do it that way. Otherwise, like I said, you can just quickly jot in a synopsis for yourself, okay? Let's see here. Kim wants to know, can I upload Facebook contacts a second time? Awesome question, Kim. I get this often. So some of you are social media gods and goddesses. So you're adding way more than 1 or 2 or 3 people a day. In that case, you can always pull an additional download copy of your Facebook friends, import that to Teamzy. Teamzy is going to apply that duplicate filter like I mentioned. It's going to screen out anybody that already exists in the system, bringing in only your new folks, okay? So for those of you who fall into that category, by all means, you can pull an additional copy and import it to Teamzy. I recommend that you get in the habit of adding to Teamzy as you meet new people. Whether it be through social media. Whenever I accept a new friend request, I pop over to Teamzy, I hit add contact, I add the new person, okay? You can add as much or as little information as you have at the time because you'll have the opportunity down the road to update that. So you have the choice, okay, to add as you go along, but if you get behind, if you find, no, I had a killer week, I added like 100 people, pull the download, re-import. Okie doke. Let's see here. So that's everything in the chat. Let's check out the Q&A section. Okay, so Marla wants to know, is there a way to skip a follow-up? Okay, so Marla, if you are referencing from the dashboard, so if you mean a default follow-up, so someone that comes up under the prospect list, if you need to buy yourself some time, I recommend that you click the skip 1 week. This removes them from the list, but it will bring them back up in 7 days, okay? If you need more than 7 days on a given person, I would click on, so let's say, oh, you know what, Claudia's headed out of town to be with her sick mom for 2 months. So I'm going to follow up with her 2 months from now. I'm going to click on Claudia's name. That brings me to her profile. In the follow-up area, I'm going to go to default, custom date, and I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to follow up with her July 1. This sets Claudia out for a follow-up. She's not going to come up on my day-to-day for follow-up until it's July 1st, okay? That's going to be for your defaults. Let's say you mean these guys, okay? The custom follow-ups that you created. If you're thinking, I need a few more days on that person, for this, we want to go over to our team page on the left. Okay? From the team page on the left, you have some filters. So you can see just prospects, customers, consultants, and then you can also see a full list of your upcoming follow-ups. For those of you who have, 10, 15, 20 follow-ups, you're only going to see 5 on the dashboard. If you want to see all of them, come over to your team page, okay? From here, you can quickly change a default. You can quickly change a follow-up. So if you're thinking, you know what, William is set for follow-up today, but I'm going to follow up with him in a couple days. You can just rewrite the follow-up, just sort of change it from there. Okie doke. Let's see here. Okay. All right, so Anonymous wants to know, I have already uploaded my Facebook friends list, but did not realize I could do the same with Pulse. How do I upload Pulse without having duplicates? Okay, so like I said, that duplicate filter is going to be constantly monitoring, okay? So if you started with your Facebook friends and you have not done a whole lot of tracking yet, if you haven't connected with a ton of people, I recommend that you undo that import, okay? You can do that at any time by clicking on the import section. So, sorry, you're gonna go to your team page, you're gonna click import, and then import history. From here, you're gonna have an itemized list of every single import you attempted to bring into Teamzy. You can quickly delete an import and start over fresh. So, if you're at a position where you haven't done a lot of work in Teamzy and you can kind of just walk it back and then bring in your Pulse contacts first, I recommend that. If not, no problem. Just go through the process of exporting your Pulse contacts and then import those to Teamzy, okay? Teamzy will search for the duplicates by unique email address. If the unique email address doesn't match, okay, if they use 2 different email addresses, you may have to manually clean some up. Alrighty, so let's see here. So Susan wants to know, will she be able to watch this video again? Yes, I remembered to record tonight, not to worry. So every single person that's registered for the call will get a replay link tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Feel free to share it with your teams and anyone who was not able to be here with us live. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's see here. So Suzanne has noticed the university tab. Do we offer continuous training? So the university tab that you notice there, Suzanne, on the left-hand side is an awesome tool for you. As you're getting familiar with your system, this is where we house all of our FAQs and trainings. So we do, I do ongoing webinars monthly. I do offer, we do team calls and team trainings and things like that. So if you're looking for some additional information, if you're thinking they've got to have an FAQ or an how-to or something like that, click your university tab on the left, come over to FAQs by your network, and you'll have different video selections, some webinars, some actually like step-by-step instructions, things like that. If you need additional help, if you're thinking, I need a refresher, I need to ask some more questions, reach out to me directly. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Suzanne wants to know how much is the monthly charge after the trial period. So in your Teamzy, move this, okay. So when you are ready to consider your subscription option, it's whenever, it'll be kind of at your own pace, okay? Your subscription options live in your Teamzy. In the upper right-hand corner, you have a little wheel. You come down to settings. You'll see billing in the middle left of the page. When you click here, this is gonna give you exactly when your 30-day trial will end. And then it lets you know your 2 subscription options. Teamzy is either month to month, okay, which there's no contract obligation there whatsoever. You can cancel at any time, but that's $29.99 per month. If you choose the annual subscription, you will save $60 up front, but you're paying for the full 12 months at once. So that's $299.98 if you wanted to do that savings up front, keeping in mind that Teamzy is 100% a business write-off. So, food for thought. Let's see here. Is there a Teamzy Facebook page for people who have decided to use the program? Absolutely. So it's not necessarily reserved only for people who use the system. We've got a really, really great Facebook page, guys. We love to hear from our users, feedback, what you're loving, liking. I want to see more of this, less of this. Go ahead and find us on Facebook. You can just search us by Teamzy, okay? Now, as you're going through, I definitely shared all of my contact information. I will share it again in a minute. If you're thinking, I didn't write it down, I have no idea how to contact her. If you need help, right in your Teamzy, you have a little help button in the lower right-hand corner, okay? Not sure if you can see my mouse there bouncing around, but it's a little help button. You can click there. It lets you send us a quick question. We are real people on the other end of that. You'll more than likely hear from me. If not, it'll be my awesome colleague, Barry, or some of our other support reps, but honestly, we're a really close, small team, so you'll be hearing from someone who's gonna help you out. Okay. Now, with help, you guys are gonna be using the system. You are the rock stars who are gonna tell me this works well. I'd love to see this. Add this to the invite types. Add this to the sale types. You let me know what you need and I will be your champion in our development meetings, okay? We are a small, close-knit team. I get to bring your ideas directly to the guys and give them perspective as to why it would be beneficial for you. So please, share with me, okay? You've got a little feedback tool right in your Teamzy as well. Feel free to send us any feedback you may have. Reach out for help if you need assistance along the way. I'm gonna check the chat and the Q&A a couple more times, and then there's just one last thing I wanna share with you guys. I promise, this is it, and then I'm gonna stop talking. All right, guys. I know you're building a team around a crazy busy life. So with that in mind, it'd be really nice to be able to access a system like this on the go. Teamzy is mobilely accessible, okay? It's not an app, so you're not going to the App Store or anything like that. You're going to just, if you're an iPhone user or an Android user, open up your browser of choice, Safari or Chrome or whatever the case may be, and I want you to type in what you see in my URL on the screen now, app.teamzy.com. The word app.teamzy.com. From there, you're gonna have the opportunity to save your login information, okay? I recommend that you save your login, and then what I do is I saved it to, I'm not sure if that glare is gonna work with me tonight, but on my home screen, you can actually see that's my Teamzy. So I saved it so it looks and behaves just like an app. So I can tap on that. It'll go ahead and load my dashboard the same way that you guys see here. Of course, it's working on my desert 4G, so it's gonna take a second. But once that loads, I'll have access to who I need to connect with today. So there it is. So it loaded there. So you'll see my circles, okay? What have I completed today? If I scroll down, I actually have my names of who to connect with. If I click on a name, I can send an email. I can log a couple of connections. I don't know about you guys, but my power hour didn't manifest itself in a full hour in the beginning. I had 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. So take the time when you've got it and use the mobile app. If you don't know how to add to your home screen or you need some help with that, reach out to me directly. All right, guys, that is all I've got for you tonight. I know it was kind of like sipping from a fire hose, but I hope it was helpful. If you need assistance, if you need help along the way, feel free to reach out to me directly. I am putting up my contact information as you go. Thanks for being here, guys. It was a real pleasure. If you have additional questions, feel free to jump in the chat or the Q&A as you go also. Thanks so much for being here. Bye now.